What is up, everyone? I am Bishop Brawler and you are watching the team analysis video of the Brooklyn Brelooms, coached by BokChoy. His team is, in my opinion, not very good. And that is, I'm saying that, no offense to Bok, but I just don't really like it. And that's because a lot of the Pokemon I feel don't really work together, I guess. But we'll get into everything later on in the video. We're going to start off with the first Pokemon on his team, which was his Landorus Therian. Landorus Therian is, of course, a great Pokemon. It was featured in the VGC very heavily, as a VGC 2015. It has the ability Intimidate, meaning that it can be quite defensive as a Pokemon. It is a great stealth rock setter with ability to grab momentum with U-turn, but I don't think that's what his team needed. I think what his team needed was just a wall breaker, and that's what Landorus T also gives you. Its Choice Scarf set is very powerful, great at dismantling teams with a powerful EQ. Stone Edge gives it great coverage across the board, and it's a very nice Pokemon. I really think so. The thing is, it has a quad weakness to Ice. And on a team, in a draft league, it's very easy to prepare for something with a quad weakness to Ice. And I feel like it kind of restricted him in team building, because if you look at the rest of his team, Empoleon, quad resists Ice. Heatran, quad resists Ice. Magmortar resists Ice. Mawile resists Ice. Even Medicham resists Ice. I feel like he was forced to draft a lot of Pokemon that resist Ice just to cover for that huge weakness. And I don't really like that. I think his team can take the Ice type hits, but I think that it restricted him too much in team building and kind of meant that he got sort of screwed. It sounds kind of weird that just because his team had to cover for one of his Pokemon, he got screwed, but I really think so. Because there are no Ice type immunities, he couldn't just draft one of those and be fine. I don't really know. Like, Landorus is a good Pokemon. I definitely think it'll put a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but I just don't really like the fact that he was forced to draft so many Ice resistances because of it. And it still is worthwhile to just put HP Ice on all of your Pokemon against his team. Assuming you don't need any other coverage, of course. Like, I don't know. I really don't know what to think of this, man. It's a good Pokemon, but restricted him so much in team building, I'm not sure if it was worth it. But once again, it's a good, powerful Pokemon, and I think Bok can definitely make use of it well, but we'll see how he makes use of the rest of his team. Because first off, we have this Heatran here. Once again, this is a tier 1 Pokemon, so we're talking about Heatran first before anything else. Heatran is, of course, a Fire Steel type with yet another quad weakness in ground, though that is relatively easily covered up by simply giving it an Air Balloon. Or a Sugar Berry. And Heatran can afford to do that as well, whereas Landorus can't really afford to have a Yachi Berry. Heatran is a multitude of sets that I think can all be used to great success. The Magma Storm Trapping Stall Breaker set is pretty nice with Taunt and things like that. It's a good Pokemon. I really like it. It can be a wall breaker with maybe something like a Scarf or Specs or whatever. He has Lava Plume, allowing him to relatively easily burn opponents. Yeah, I think Heatran in general can definitely function well on his team. I think it's a great wall that opponents might have hard time struggling to get through. It can set up Stealth Rocks, so similar to just like Landorus can. And in general, it's quite versatile, so I like Heatran here. However, once again, this does of course have that weakness to ground, and as you can see, he drafted 3 ground immunities and a resistance in Volbeat, which may have been kind of extreme, but his team is still quite weak to ground. So I mean, I can accept him doing that. And once again, that quad weakness really restricted him in team building, I feel. But once again, Heatran and Landorus both are in this situation. Great Pokemon, but restrict his team building too much to really be worth it, honestly. I honestly think so. Empoleon is the next Pokemon I want to talk about. It's another Steel type, and it's another kind of bulky offensive Steel type, just like Heatran. I'm not sure if I like this Pokemon here. He needed the bulky water, and I'm not gonna lie, he really did. And with Milotic gone, and with Suicune gone, maybe he felt like there simply wasn't all that much left. But maybe he could have just gone for Vaporeon. I don't believe that had been drafted already. I may be wrong, but I just don't know. Maybe the fact that it's another Steel type and the second ground weakness is a problem to me. I think if he would have just drafted a Bulky Water, a Bulky Pure Water, maybe Alomomola even, in this slot instead of Empoleon, there would not have been a problem, because he would have been able to deal with ground types, would have been able to deal with ice types relatively easily, and it would have been fine. But now, once again, he needs those ground resistances, and yes, he has Landorus already, but he needs to get more, because if Landorus is your ground type switch in, I'm gonna click Ice Beam on the switch and it dies. And Landorus is no recovery, so it's gonna get whittled down very quickly to something like Stealth Rocks, and I think slowly over the course of the draft, Bok realized that he's restricting himself too much and started really bending out of his way to get things that resist the typings he's weak to, and I don't really like that. Once again though, I really think Empoleon is a great Pokemon. It has a Stealth Rock, it has Defog, it's great at what it does, it's capable of being a good lead, it's capable of being an anti-lead, it has Scald to burn opponents, it has Ice Beam as coverage, Flash Cannon as secondary stab. Good Pokemon, can definitely put in a lot of work, but doesn't work with his team. And that is a problem that I feel Bok has. Mega Medicham, however. Mega Medicham was a very good pickup. I think that was a very smart pick, because his team lacked some offensive power at this moment in time. And Mega Medicham gave him that. Apart from just being a great wall breaker, and having a relatively easy Mega Evolution in Fake Out, this thing also gave him 60 extra points because we placed in tier 2 as a Mega. You might be wondering why. Well, I personally, and apparently the rest of some of the other coaches as well, felt like why would you draft Mega Medicham if Mega Lopunny is in the same tier? Because we felt like Mega Lopunny does what Mega Medicham does, but better. But Mega Medicham has the ability Pure Power, which means it's more powerful than Mega Lopunny. But it's much, much slower as well. I don't even believe it hits the 100 base mark. And that's not good, because it's so easy to outspeed it and revenge kill it. Yes, it has priority in Bullet Punch, but that's not even stab. That's a 40 base power move that you need to rely on. He doesn't get Sucker Punch, he doesn't get Mach Punch, he doesn't get some kind of psychic priority. It's a problem, but I definitely think this is a powerful, powerful wall breaker that can definitely plow through teams if they're not prepared. But you can prepare for it. Once again, once again a powerful Pokemon that I think is relatively easy to prepare for by having fast Pokemon, essentially. Next up is his Mamoswine, and another powerful wall breaker, and it's not even weak to ice, it's not weak to ground. Good job, Bok. This is nice. No quad weaknesses, yes, a lot of weaknesses, but no quad weaknesses at least that are easily exploited. This thing is so powerful, has a practically unresistant stab combination with ground and ice, and it's gonna be powerful for his team. It's gonna be good. Absolutely, it's gonna be good. But why draft another wall breaker here? You already have a ground type wall breaker in Landorus, a special wall breaker in Heatran, another physical wall breaker in Medicham. You needed a sweeper at this point in time. I don't know why Mamoswine. I think his other pickup in tier 2, in its tier 2 free picks in Hydreigon was a great pick, because that can be a late game cleaner, that can be a revenge killer, and potentially even a sweeper. Though once again, it's more of a wall breaker. But Mamoswine is gonna be breaking walls. It has a power. It's powerful. It's hard to prepare for, but it's something that hits hard. It's something that's slow and hits hard, and that you already have that, Bok. Come on, I no offense to Bok, but I don't agree with his picks. Like, I just don't. His top tier picks are not very good in my opinion. And I already talked a little bit about Hydreigon. I think the best Hydreigon set is the Choice Scarf Draco Meteor Revenge Killing set, which works with his team because he needed something fast that was going to revenge kill that was going to get a kill every time it comes in. And I want to see how he uses it, but I'm not sure. Once again, it's slow. It's not fast. Yes, it usually has holding a Choice Scarf, so it will be fast. But by itself, it's not exactly fast. And his team needs speed. A need for speed, I guess you could say. I don't know. I honestly don't really see it. I think the 6 Pokemon I've talked about so far all have the same thing. All have one thing in common. They're slow, powerful attackers that are great Pokemon on their own, but have a weakness in that they are slow. Yeah, the speed. There's just so little speed on the team. I think it's gonna bite them in the butt later on. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna slowly keep going. Magmortar. At first glance, I also thought of this as like, god damn it, another slow wall breaker, and it is fire type, just like Heatran. Why? But Magmortar has something going for it that Heatran lacks, and that is the ability to run an Assault Vest set that takes hits for days. The Assault Vest tank hit on tank set on Magmortar is easily its best set in my opinion. It takes so many hits, it's so hard to break down, and some teams cannot deal with this. However, it is weak to physical hits with that set, and it's slow once again. I think the team is too slow. I think the team is too slow to really do a lot of things. These first 7 Pokemon were his most powerful Pokemon, and they're all slow, and I think that's a legitimate problem that this team has. He might be able to solve it through some trades with other coaches, but we'll see what happens there. However, in general, Magmortar is a powerful mon, and I am definitely looking forward to seeing this Pokemon. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, and I think the Assault Vest set can definitely put in a lot of work. Now, next up is his Vileplume. Vileplume is bulky. That's it. It's bulky, however, relatively passive. It could potentially be a threat, I guess. I don't believe it gets Chlorophyll. Yeah, it does get Chlorophyll. Don't mind me. It does get Chlorophyll, so it could potentially sweep like that and give his team some speed. But it's mainly bulky and can definitely it can wall some fighting types, which is quite nice. But a lot of fighting types have things like Ice Punch to deal with it, so yeah, I don't really like Vileplume. It's a good bulky Pokemon in NU. You can see that I feel like Bok has a lot of experience playing in NU because NU picks are good. Vileplume is a good pick in NU, but it's not very good in Draft League because it has a lot of weaknesses. And it's relatively easy to prepare for, and is another weakness to Ice, which is a problem. So, yeah, I don't know. It could be a good Pokemon for his team. It could also be a very bad Pokemon for his team. We'll see how he makes use of it. And Rotom is honestly a similar case. Rotom in NU is usually a Pokemon that has a Scarf and tries to trick it onto a defensive Pokemon, and then proceeds to wreak havoc with a lot of momentum grabbing and Volt Switches. Which is definitely a powerful tool to have. Having something that is so focused on tricking a Choice Scarf is nice, because that is a great tool to have. It really cripples a defensive Pokemon on the opponent's team, and could seriously stop them from walling your entire team. That's a nice tool to have. And it has some speed. Not a lot, though. It's still not breaking that base 100 speed. And I don't know if he's gonna really make use of this. I think it's important to have a fast electric type, but I think it should have been Raichu in this slot and not Rotom. Because Raichu is really, really fast, and it would have been a great tool for him. However, Rotom does have the Ghost typing, so that's nice because it can Spin Block. But it's also quite frail, so I'm not sure if you're going to want to switch it into a Spinner for free. I'm kind of scared for this Rotom. I am hoping Bok has a good plan for it. We'll see what happens, and yeah, that's about it for it, honestly. His PU picks, apart from Mawile, I'll talk about Mawile first, because I think Mawile is pretty good. Right? Mawile is absolutely not a bad Pokemon. It's quite a big threat in PU, though above that it really isn't very scary. It has actually Sucker Punch, which could potentially help in being a Swords Dance setup sweeper with Sucker Punch, Iron Head, Play Rough. But low base power move in combination with a relatively low base attacks that can definitely hurt a lot. It does have the Intimidate ability, so maybe he can make it a more defensive variant. But it doesn't have recovery, and he has no Wish Passers on his team. So that could be a huge problem. I think in general his team really wanted the Wish Passer. I really think so, because if you look at this team, Empoleon is bulky, has no recovery. Landorus can be bulky, has no recovery. Heatran is bulky, can be bulky, has no recovery. Backboardlar is bulky, has no recovery. Vileplume is bulky and has recovery and synthesis. But that's it. I think his team needed the Wish Passer and he didn't get it. Mobile has a good defensive typing when Steel Fairy and can definitely put in a lot of work in the right situation. And I think this is honestly his only really good PU pick. Because if we move over to Raticate... What? Raticate? Okay. Let me talk about Raticate. As far as I know, is a Guts Sweeper, right? Why though? Why Raticate? I don't get it. I don't know what Raticate does. I mean, once again, no offense to Puck. I am assuming you have a great plan for all of your Pokemon, and I'm really hoping you put in a lot of work with this team. I just don't understand it. And Raticate isn't a very good Pokemon, not even in PU. It does have momentum in U-turn. I believe it gets Swords Dance. It has the Guts ability, which is nice. I don't think it's very fast though, and I don't really... Not a huge fan. Once again, like, it's gonna be whittled down easily. It's gonna be out-prioritized. It's gonna go down to any Mach Punch ever. And that is gonna be a problem for his team. And I hope this thing puts in the work, simply to prove me wrong. And I really hope Bok knows how to use this thing better than I do, because I really don't know how to use this thing. But we'll see. And now Volbeat, I honestly don't understand. Volbeat has two sets. Volbeat has the sun or rain setting set, where he sets the sun for something and then that thing comes into sweep. I mean, I guess maybe he sets up the sun for Vileplume and it tends to sweep with Chlorophyll. Maybe. That is a possibility, I guess. And the other set is the Tail Glow passing set, which I like better, personally. But his team doesn't have a good recipient of the Tailwind, because his team is slow. Or the Tail Glow, I mean, not the Tailwind, the Tail Glow. Yes, you can pass a +3 special attack to a Heatran and something is gonna die, most likely. But it kills one thing and then it is destroyed by any Revenge Killer ever. And then you might be like, yeah, well, we'll just do it again. Volbeat cannot do that very often. Volbeat is a frail Pokemon that might just get face instantly, and I don't really see it happening, man. So I think that's not a role his team is gonna have, more because, like, if you pass a Tail Glow to something, it needs to be fast enough to actually do something with the Tail Glow. The recipients this team has aren't. So the sun settings, it might be sunsetting Volbeat for the Vileplume. That may be the idea he has. It's not bad at all. It does, I believe, does Volbeat get Tailwind? I'm not 100% sure. I don't believe so. We'll see. Pretty much. That's honestly the way I'm gonna be finishing off this video. We will see. I think Bok has a plan for all of these Pokemon, because you don't draft Volbeat and Raticate if you don't have a plan to use them. So I think he has a plan, and I want to see what that plan is. So I'm really excited to start the season soon and see what he does with it. So, and that's been it for me today. I'm out. Peace.